episode 330. I am your host, Matrix Lord 212, and I'm with Adam, the Ultimate Whovian. What's up, Adam?
Hello there.
What's up, David?
To Who Radio.
What's up, Charlie? Okay. We got some news with it. You there, Charlie? What's up, Charlie?
Yeah.
Okay. We got some Doctor Who news. We're going to start with Adam. Adam, why don't you tell us what you heard?
Well, Joe, there's rumors coming that everyone's been talking about it and praying, hoping he can come back for the 50th or the Christmas special. But rumors have it that he will be in the finale for Series 8. The Master will make a sensational return from the grave for the finale of the new series. Bosses have secretly plotted to bring the Time Lord's arch-enemy back for a big cliffhanger, and it's rumored that they're looking for a Hollywood actor to take on the role. Filming will take place next month, but will be done inside a TV studio to avoid spoilers. Rumors have been rife that the Master, originally played by the late Roger Delgado, might return. In one forthcoming story of the new series, the new Doctor, played by Peter Capaldi, 56, heads to Lanzarote to revisit a scene of an old adventure. The last time he was there in 1984 for a story called Planet of Fire, and the Master was at the centre of the action. Ex-Time Lord actor Sylvester McCoy also teased at a fan convention earlier this year that the Schemer might be back.
Well, I, for one, think that they're going to probably have hints throughout the whole season that the Master's coming back. Maybe many different incarnations, we don't know. But from the very beginning, it was like hints that he may be Harry Houdini, Jack the Ripper, he may be. We don't know yet. But it's a possibility they could be building it up, because I don't think they're going to just spring it on us. We might have a little hints here and there that people he's encountered throughout Series 8 is the Master. But I think that's a great idea. I think it's about time for the Master to return. What do you think, David?
So I wasn't listening to the last bit.
Yeah, I think that it's time for the Master to return. I mean, he may have parts throughout Series 8 as a slow build-up. Maybe he's Harry Houdini, maybe he's Jack the Ripper. We don't know. I said, but I think it's time, that he should be a part of the finale. I mean, maybe we don't know if it's a two-part finale either, because I was hearing rumors about that too. So
that
what do you
was
think?
the rumor, but it has been 4 years since the end of time, and we haven't heard one single thing at all. Although there was that story where Matt Smith did say he bumped into John Sims, and I think he had a conversation. Yeah, him and Stephen Moffat passed John Sims, and I think he was asking whether the Master would be coming, because I think that's what perhaps Matt Smith wanted the Master to appear. I mean, that would have been
He did want that.
rather fascinating, but he didn't. So I've always had the suspicion that the Master might have been, there might be hints that could have been left by Stephen Moffat, or could be rewritten to be little suggestions that the Master was in the background watching the Doctor all the time. Yeah, that's a rather sort of eerie thing.
What do you think, Charlie?
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for the Master coming back. It doesn't necessarily have to. We don't have to arc John Sims in there. I mean, I think he said at one point he didn't want to come back, or but we've been surprised though. You said they might not surprise us. We were surprised. I was surprised in Utopia when he came back.
Well, that we were surprised. No, I'm talking about now. I'm saying that I don't think they're going to surprise us with him in the finale. I think that they're going to build up a little bit in Series 8, I think.
If they do, I would like to see it maybe like they were trying to tease in like the John Saxon character, where you get these like little things here and there that
Howard Saxon, yeah.
Yeah, by the end of the season, it all added up. Oh, we saw that. We saw this. This is taking place. I don't know if they'll do multiple actors. That's kind of far-fetched. I mean, it would be nice to think that they might do different incarnations of the Master throughout the year, but I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about what article do you have for us about Doctor Who, Charlie?
The article I found in here is that the Titan Comics, the people who are bringing us the David Tennant and Matt Smith comics have announced that they're going to also be doing Peter Capaldi comics.
Nice.
Coming up.
That's awesome. And they have a day, right?
October 1st of this year is when they're slated to come out.
Okay. Oh, they're not coming out in July. They're coming out later.
Right.
Oh, okay.
The David Tennant and Matt Smith ones start in July.
Okay, July.
Yeah.
Peter Capaldi's in October, right? Okay.
Peter Capaldi will be released in October.
Awesome.
What's that, David?
The cover for that one you've mentioned with Peter Capaldi on a Facebook fan page, and it looks absolutely beautiful. They do absolutely wonderful covers for their comics, and they also do. They basically do, in essence, sort of really focused Doctor Who stories. No offense to Doctor Who magazine, but the comics strips they do in these by Titan Comics are actually, I think, superior. Plus, Doctor Who magazine covers lots of Doctor Who things, but this is specifically a comic strip dedicated to, our favourite Time Lord. So it looks absolutely fantastic, if pun intended. And I admit, I do like comics. I enjoyed buying the odd few Spider-Man comics and Wolverine type thing, and Doctor Who, really, quite frankly, when Doctor Who magazine was Doctor Who Weekly, they actually had a lot on their Tom Baker comic strips, which had Alan Moore and so forth, who have become legends in comics themselves by their own right. So I can't wait to see Capaldi. It might be a preview of his Doctor before the episode begins.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. We still don't have a start date. I think it's probably going to be the last week of August, right, for Series 8? Charlie?
Yeah, the 23rd, I think. The only thing I was going to say about like the Doctor Who magazine comics that I've noticed, like historically, sometimes they'll take a already had story and they'll replace different doctors in that story.
Right.
I don't know if you've noticed that, and I don't like that too much. I mean, if you're going to write for a doctor.
Right, you got to write for the doctor, not give you somebody else's story.
If you make it so you can transplant a doctor in any story,
Right.
Well, I mean, I guess that's all right, novel-wise, because then your imagination can be whoever you want it to be. It could be Pertwee, it could be Hartnell, it could be whoever you want it to be. These ones are seeming like there's going to be a doctor-centric, storyline.
Right.
The cover, like David was saying, the covers are great, even for all of them. The Capaldi ones, they got the kind of like the same artistic with the Tennant and the Smith, and then there's two Clara covers, one drawn and one is the photo cover.
Was it Titan Comics who did the 50th anniversary comics series where each Doctor featured? They had a issue.
I think that was the IDW was that storyline that they had with all of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
They have a new license now.
Yeah. Yeah, that was Prisoners of Time.
Yeah,
that was
it.
Of
course, yeah, Prisoners of Time. I don't know.
Which is a good series.
It fits. It fits. Oh, getting excited just thinking about it.
Now, what's what article you have, David? Something about Clara, the mystery that they're having. That they're still why the artist hates Clara.
Well, I'm glad you asked that, Joseph, my lad, and Adam, and also Charlie. I was panicking as I was slowly panicking, trying to find something for my slave driver of a master, better known as Joe. No offense, only joking. Actually, by a strange coincidence, there was actually an article on Doctor Who co-UK about Clara. Does Clara hide a secret that is bigger on the inside? By the guest contributor, he said, just barely getting the word out, by a contributor to Doctor Who co-UK, Richard Forbes. Basically, in essence, that Batardis and Clara Oswald, named after the assassin of JFK, which bizarrely happened the day before the first broadcast ever of Doctor Who. The idea that both the TARDIS and Clara have a history where the TARDIS has rejected her because she senses something about Clara, but she doesn't like. Very much like trying to get rid of Captain Jack at the start of Utopia, oddly enough, that we were mentioning a few minutes ago. And the this shared characteristic, I'm going to read you a section of this article, which you can find now online. While the TARDIS might be a ship, it has characteristics, even endearing ones. Clara and the TARDIS share a lot of these characteristics, which gives credence to the notion that one gave the other life. Now, as we know from what's it called? Name of the Doctor? Name of the Doctor, in the sequence at the start of the episode, a historic moment that we've always wanted to see finally happened. We got to see the Doctor and presumably Susan, although she looked a bit too big for Susan, really, is escaping in a TARDIS without the familiar 1960s outer shell. So the idea is that they're sort of linked together now. They are one, which is why many regenerations later, the Doctor's TARDIS, who in the Doctor's wife is proven to actually be, in essence, the only sort of companion that he's had from day one, continuously remembers her. There's biometrics, like in the Two Doctors, everyone, it specifically suggested that only a Time Lord with biometric data can actually control TARDIS because they're fail-safe DNA type thing. And perhaps this is the same reason why the TARDIS wants to get rid of Clara. And this article is absolutely... These articles I read back in the 80s in Doctor Who magazine. Old fart, sort of, you need to... One where it made the TARDIS a fascinating, magical science fiction dream. And the same thing here. Sorry for rambling, everyone, but you should be used to it. The Doctor usually does that. And that's what the article is about. There's more to Clara and the TARDIS than we realised. And one of the most recent photos I've seen recently is an image of Peter Capaldi's Doctor trying to get out of a shrunken TARDIS, just like in the Meddling Monk, when the Doctor manages to make the monk's TARDIS so small he can't enter or get out of it. And also Logopolis, where the Master, bizarrely enough, going back to what Charlie and the others were saying earlier, actually does something with the chameleon circuit, so it shrinks at the end of one of the cliffhangers. And therefore, we're back to the start. The small TARDIS. Maybe the end of season 8 will be linked to Clara and the TARDIS, which is again in a sort of nice sort of echoing of the past due to the mass interference. Or perhaps I'm just talking complete bollocks. But who knows?
Right. See, now I think one, River controls the TARDIS, and she's technically not a... Well, she can regenerate, So I don't know how that works. But didn't we used to have other people power up the TARDIS? Didn't like Ian Chesterton start using the dials or something like that from the very first Doctor William Hartnell? And didn't like Adric try to like operate the TARDIS with Romana or wasn't he showing like Amy Pond how to who did he try to show?
And Donna.
He tried to show Clara. Right, he tried to show Donna, and he also tried to show Clara how to fly the TARDIS in Journey to the Center of the TARDIS too. So I think it used to be the isomorphic settings only allowed the Doctor to use it, which they brought that back in the Christmas Carol about the isomorphic settings. But the Doctor could turn that switch on and off, where anybody else could fly the TARDIS. That was the thing that they developed later on. The thing with Clara and the TARDIS, I think, is something else entirely. Being that she was responsible for fixing the timeline where he chose the right TARDIS, you would think that the TARDIS would not like do things to like piss her off. So, but I think there's something else besides that. I think that maybe if she was split into a million pieces, there are some pieces out there of Clara that are just loopy and crazy and possibly evil and possibly have done some horrible, horrible things that blame Clara for. Don't forget, if you're split into a million pieces, there's got to be some of them that are not all there in the brain, that are not recognizable to be Clara in the first place. They may look like her, but they could be like villains.
Yeah, that's true. Clara is basically like the character in the City of Death, being splintered throughout different...
Scaroff, yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Of course, yeah, that bloke who's got a really nice sort of skin tone.
Count Scorleone?
I think, yes. Played by... Julian Glover, who's been recently seen in Game of Thrones, even though he wasn't seen in season 2 or 3 that much. It's interesting because, as I love, the Doctor always said, there's that wonderful sequence in Planet of the Spiders where, one of the unit families say, you talk about her as though she were alive. And the Doctor says, I do, don't I? And I love that. And then, of course, in The Doctor's Wife, it's finally sort of confirmed that this is actually a sentient. TARDISes are not just... The TARDIS is not just simply a machine. He needs tricks, persuasion.
Well, I think ever since Parting of the Ways, that changed the dynamic with the TARDIS because he put the time vortex back into the TARDIS, but he also put a link to himself. So him and the TARDIS was linked, I think, since that moment. And so was Rose Tyler to the TARDIS. So that's why he's able to go like this, and the TARDIS opens. Like, the Master wasn't able to do that, but he has that connection with the TARDIS where when he regenerates sometimes, the TARDIS regenerates too. And it changes its whole thing shaped around him. So I think eventually we're going to see a new console room with the TARDIS. I think that they're blowing up the console room in this season, so that way Peter Capaldi could have his own brand new console room in Series 9, or maybe in the Christmas special. People didn't think about that, but I think that's a factor that you want to have a Doctor recognized with his own TARDIS inside. So I think
what about the sonic screwdriver as well?
I think that will change as well, but I also think that, while people do like the new TARDIS inside, I am not a fan of the rotor, the thing coming up and down. It's not there anymore. It turns around. And I want to see the TARDIS, when he hits the button, it goes up and down, up and down. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see... I mean, I like the spinning thing around, but that's not what my perception is of the TARDIS inside. So I think Peter Capaldi's probably going to say that as well. Because he's a fan of Doctor Who too. He wants a little bit of the classic feel. So I think Peter Capaldi they're gonna have a storyline where the TARDIS is gonna get really messed up, and then of course he designs it the way he wants it to be. Possibly to debut in the Christmas special. Yeah,
it's a good visual though, because you got the column going up and down, and you see the Doctor's face being sort of distorted as it goes up and down, a sort of somber Tom Baker moment,
right. Like when you hit that
Pyramids and Mars,
it makes that noise, it goes, and then it goes up. And I love that effect. So even if they kept the thing turning around, I don't care about that. They can keep that going turning around, but you have to have the rotor go up and down. That's what I have to see. So I think that they're going to work it into the storyline where we're going to have a brand new TARDIS console in the Christmas special, I feel. Or possibly the finale at the end. He's going to rebuild the TARDIS. And I think also we're going to have a new sonic screwdriver later in the season, possibly. And
I do hope so. I don't think Peter Capaldi's suited to Matt Smith's Sonic at all.
No, I think he's going to have his own Sonic. I think that's what's going to happen. So we got some things. We got a new screwdriver, hopefully a new TARDIS interior, or maybe a mixture of both. Who knows? And a new master, possibly. So a lot of things are looking up for Peter Capaldi's adventures. I expect also Davros to return in Series 9, by the way, but that's another thing.
We'll have the Emperor Dalek back?
Alright, what's up, bro?
Okay. Do you think we'll have the Dalek Emperor back, or?
I think that they're going to start up the whole Davros and factions of the Daleks, because I think that was underutilized, like when they had the Davros and his own Daleks, and then the Emperor Dalek or the Supreme Dalek. I think that they need to do that again, only because, if you're the creator of the Daleks, you're not going to be like a puppet to your own creations, and he eventually is going to have his own Daleks and they're going to listen to him. So I think that that's going to be brought back. I think he temporal shifted out of there. I think he's going to have his own Daleks, and it's going to be like a civil war. And if they do that, that would be better, because you can get away from the whole, oh my God, the Daleks are the greatest threat in the universe, and they're battling the Time Lords. If they have like a civil war, that will kind of dampen them a little bit, where they're killing themselves. And they won't be as the biggest threat in the universe, where they have to be part of every single cliffhanger, every single Christmas special, every single big finale. You can give the Daleks a break, so to speak, because they're in their own war. So I think that needs to occur, because it's nice that they were top villain, but after a while, if you're going to put them on par with the Time Lords, and the Time Lords not there, I mean, you're going to make them where they're too huge to be stopped. At some point in time, you got to like lower them a little bit. So you knock them down.
I think they should have a story showing Davros before he became the wheelchair.
I agree with that too. I think though,
that's the genesis of the Daleks for the new series, if you like, because Genesis of the Daleks completely brought a new life to the Dalek idea. Because the simple fact is, after Dalek 2005, the Daleks have started to fall into the same trap they did in the 80s. They're not threatening anymore. But if you got, like we were discussing in one of your previous podcasts that we've just done, Dracula being shown before he became a bloodsucker. You could have the same thing. You could show, why did Davros become so bitter and mad, and Megan, what's the word? Megan Lagerlow? I can't say it.
Maniacal.
Maniacal. If I say it in American,
he could have been the nicest person known to man. He could have been. He could have been the most helpful, nicest person, and something happened.
Because of his accident, that put him in a wheelchair? Was it because he'd been like that before? Was it because he, became xenophobic? Was it because science twisted his mind to some sort of, only the superior will survive? What's the reason?
At some point in time, his hatred was so powerful, it kept him alive.
I mean, that would be brilliant for someone like Peter Capaldi to play against.
If I was doing it, and if I brought Davros back, the first thing I would do is I would have Davros and his Daleks destroy that whole parliament of the Daleks from the Asylum of the Daleks, only because they become so weak that all they do is talk, 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 talk. They don't even want to go down to the asylum because they're scared. And for the Daleks to be scared, they would destroy themselves if there was any Daleks that were scared. So I would have Davros blow up that whole ship with all those Daleks. I would also have a thing where they just disappear, and it comes to a thing where I would do a storyline where the Doctor's like, it's a good thing that they're gone, but he doesn't like it that they're gone because something's wrong. Like, in other words, he doesn't like that he doesn't know what's happening with them, because what if they come back bigger and better than ever? So I would have a thing where the Daleks are just missing from the universe. Like, where are they?
Yeah.
People just vanish one day, and it's like, what the hell happened? And I honestly would pursue another storyline where they did say that Time Lords had escaped the universe, and the Doctor's wife, that they were journeying beyond, trying to get away from the Time War and everything, so they were exploring beyond. And the Daleks were doing the same thing. Some of the Daleks had explored outside the universe. They explored the Void ship that went past the universe they were trying to get to another universe. So I would have the Doctor stumble upon another universe where the Daleks are rulers of everything. And that's where most of them are, like that they're just there, and
that was the best cliffhanger I saw. When at the end of Doomsday, where it's it's a wonderful sleight of hand, just like Hitchcock did,
right.
Where you're led. It's the same thing that Game of Thrones does, or Hannibal does, sort of misstep in the audience. You get this idea, big sort of spear that's travelled through the voids, and the Cybermen's do, and then it opens up and the fucking Daleks come out of it, and it's a wonderful moment. It's a holy shit, we didn't see that.
Yeah, I know. Right. I would do something where we would have the Daleks are the rules of the Earth in the future, but in alternate reality, like the what I'm saying, like the Dalek invasion of Earth, where they just you would see that the timeline splintered. And
you can have here's an idea actually. You have evil the Daleks as Daleks being humanized. So maybe some Daleks might have decided that they wanted to start afresh, or because they survived or something like that.
Well, look what they did. They had the cult of Skaro. They had the cult of Skaro thinking differently. They had the Victory of the Daleks thinking differently. All these different Daleks doing their own thing. They were doing stuff. Now, Fezman, we did talk about the Master already.
All right.
We did,
I just been home there, so I haven't heard any recent news.
I think the Daleks, in order to give them a break, you need to give them the biggest threat, and that being them fighting themselves. A civil war. So I am all for that.
What do you call the other race?
That's what I'm for.
What do
Adam,
you call
you still there?
I think he's gone to another universe.
Adam, are you there, Adam?
Yeah, here.
Adam, Charlie?
Yeah.
I'm here.
Okay.
Hello?
What do you think about, Adam, what do you think about the Daleks? Yeah, what do you think about the Daleks, Adam? You think they should do something like that?
They were going to be in episode 2 of Series 8, so something could be set up there. And so I'm so glad that Moffat isn't writing the Daleks this time. It's supposedly Phil Ford.
If you think they should do a storyline to keep them occupied?
Stories from the revised series, really.
Do you think they should do a storyline to keep them occupied?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Fez, what'd you have to say?
Yeah.
I think Google is being a little loopy, and we're kind of losing our connection. So, Charlie, you there?
Yeah.
Okay, what do you think with the Daleks? You think they should keep them busy?
Yeah, it wouldn't be a bad idea.
Another threat?
Yeah, give them something to occupy. I mean, the last few years we've seen them a lot.
Yeah.
And usually
we need to give them like a 3-year break or something.
Yeah, at least a year and a half.
Yeah, something. Even if I know they have to show them every year, so maybe they could do something. But
Yeah.
Well, remember when in the Asylum of the Daleks that Skaro was brought back,
Yeah.
What would be other race like? There was like the Daleks, but like
The
they
Thals?
yeah. Like, do you think they could be brought back in some way?
I
Like,
don't think so. I think the Daleks defeated them, and I think they're done.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's what they're gonna do. That they're totally done. But we need a threat for the Daleks. I think that's what we need.
Yeah.
We need a villain that's on par with the Daleks and a brand new that would just give them
Capaldi's
problems.
eyebrows.
I would, you know what I would do? I would have Davros create a different race. That would be like a shocking finale where all of a sudden you have the Daleks and you have Davros, but he's not with Daleks. He's something completely different, but yet similar. And it will be like the new baddies for the next 50 years of Doctor Who. It's like, you know, Davros created something else. You know, I and really spend a lot of time, maybe years, trying to perfect the model of what these creatures can be.
They created Justin Bieber. I mean, let's face it, he's a bloody evil being, isn't he?
You need to create
Thou
something.
shall not be named on the cast.
You need to create something that's on par
That
with
is
the
the
Daleks.
name of the beast. Become demon.
Because the Silence and the Weeping Angels are not going to be, you know. I mean, they may appear from time to time, but they're not going to be like the Daleks, long-standing like that. So I think Davros needs to create another race.
I mean, that's
Also, what happened to the Paradigm Daleks? Are they just completely just...
They're
booted
around,
down
but they're
completely?
they're
not-
back
they-
to Teletubby Land.
they're secondaries. They're not like the main
We're
ones. that they
chasing
want to be.
Rainbow.
Yeah. All right, gang. That's going to be it for today. Appreciate all you guys for appearing. And we'll probably do cast tonight. So,
Okay.
thanks, guys. Take care. Bye for now.
Take care.
Bye-bye.